Autobots, transform and roll out. We're here today to talk about the latest Transformer card game released by Hasbro under the sub-brand of Wizards by the Coast, who are publishers of Magic: The Gathering, the most played trading card game in the world. This is the starter set, which comes with 4 character cards: Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, Red Alert, and Ironhide. They are extra size character cards, and essentially there is robot mode on one side and the ultimate car mode or other form on the other side. With me today is actually Vincent, big Transformer fan, especially of Gen 1. So here you have Gen 1 characters, which I'm sure we're very happy to see, especially in the upcoming Bumblebee movie this December. Bumblebee's included, of course. We had a playtest of this card game just now, and there's basically 2 modes. There's a very basic play option and there's an advanced play option. Admittedly, the basic play option is, I think, really basic. Really basic, and it's for those who are really ages 8 and above.
And I think basic is not a basic enough word to really describe how basic it is.
Yeah, it's just a matter of laying down your characters, throwing out some battle cards, ending up some numbers, and if you're lucky that it's higher, then your other character gets wiped out. But essentially, it comes down to this is a battle game. It's of Transformer versus Transformer, and who can wipe out the other player's Transformers first. Strangely, the starter set comes with 4 Autobot characters, so you got a bit of to play this, you're doing some civil war between Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, because there's no Decepticons included in this starter pack.
Yeah, you gotta buy the booster pack for Decepticons.
The starter pack is priced around 54-55 ringgit. It comes with 4 large character cards, 40 battle cards, some damage counters, and the very basic rules only. So you've got to go online to find the more advanced rules, which seriously for any adult playing, you want to play with the advanced rules.
Yeah, it makes the game more in-depth, there's more options, and you see, as with any good trading card game, other than skill, luck is an important factor, like how a lucky draw of good cards could just change the tide of the battle, and this delivers that. So the element is there to be a potentially great card game for sure. I mean, with the history of the Transformer franchise, there's a lot to draw from. I mean, I can't wait for some of the really interesting cards that will come in the future. Like, I hope they won't just focus on G1 characters, like they should reach into Master Force, Headmasters, and even the ancient Transformer. That will be really interesting to see that will bring to the table in the future.
So this first release has around 30 to 40 different characters, a mix of Autobot and Decepticons. This starter pack only comes with 4 unique characters, and the others, Decepticons, comes in expansion packs. Okay, so each expansion pack includes 1 character card and 7 battle cards. Those packs are priced around 14-15 ringgit. Might be slightly cheaper if you buy in a whole carton of 30 pieces. So essentially, it's a battle game, robots versus robots, and the real element, the fun part about it, is actually building your own deck once you've invested in enough cards, to build your squad of Dinobots or Decepticons or Seekers or whatever.
Combiners. Wow,
combiners.
It'll be cool if we bring combiners to the table.
Yeah, but basically it's serving up the Gen 1 characters in their Gen 1 forms. I think as long-time fans, that's what we really want.
Optimus Prime should always be a truck, and Megatron should always be a gun. Nothing else.
We don't want to see spiky Bayformers on these cards anytime soon. So we had a try run of the advanced game just now. So essentially, I mean, just to set things in the context, the game takes place with what affects the difference are these battle cards, and the battle cards are what affects the outcome of the attacks versus defense of the robots. So some will adjust the attack value, some will adjust the defense value, some will do instantable action cards here. For instance, the rare card which comes with this pack is called Team Up Tactics, and what it does is choose one of your characters. If it's a truck, right?
Yeah.
You repair 2 damage from the truck. If it's a car, you draw 2 cards. So action cards, generally random effects. Then there's upgrades, which comprise of weapons, armor, and utilities. So for instance, this weapon adds, plus 4 damage to your character's attack. These other ones add 1 defense, and the utilities may do other range stuff. So you're basically like equipping your robots with upgrades to either make them fight better or to support other characters. So again, this is actually the starter game, so there's not really much variety because it only comes with a deck of 40 cards, which has to be split between 2 players, 20 each, and a lot of them are of course common and uncommons. They're not that exciting, but they give a basic flavor of the game. So without going into very much how the game works, I think you can look up a lot of gameplay or game test videos, including the official Hasbro ones, which is narrated by Optimus Prime and Megatron.
Really? Wow, that is interesting.
How to play the game, as told by Optimus Prime and Megatron. Okay, so Vincent, what are your impressions of this Transformers card game? I mean, we've had basically 1 round, we can't comment too much, and we don't really have the variety of cards, I think, to make it really a strategic play. Because once you have more cards and you've invested in them, you could really, play with more than just 2 characters. You could play with 4 or 5, or you could play with like a few really powerful ones and a few like weak ones.
Okay, the interesting thing about this is that because Transformer, they essentially have 2 modes. One we call the robot mode, and one we call the alternate mode, which is basically their vehicle mode. So this game allows you to pick which mode you want to use to attack, and different mode is supposed to have different stats that you could use to your advantage or even disadvantage. So the element of strategy is definitely there, and the upgrades cards and all this, it further change things up, and the element of randomness with the random draw of cards. I definitely see potential for really exciting game, but unfortunately you won't get that with the starter pack, but I guess that's why it's called starter pack. I believe to really unlock the depth of the game, you have to buy the booster pack. So you can build your own team. And this is an interesting note. It doesn't have to be an Autobot versus Decepticon faction strictly. You are allowed to mix and match robots from different factions together to form your own super team, I guess.
But if you're really into thematic play, it means like, look, I want to play my team of Dinobots, isn't that?
And nothing wrong with that. You can do that. But it's interesting that they offer this as a choice.
Yeah, so you can also have, Optimus Prime and Megatron versus, I don't know, Insecticons or something.
Yeah, or Starscream, because Starscream is always a backstabber, usually. And it has happened many times where Optimus Prime worked with Prime to take down Starscream. And in fact, Optimus Prime and Megatron used to be good friends.
So, commenting on the abilities of the cards themselves based on the characters as we know them, I think we're not totally sure that this being the starter case, I'm not sure it's designed that whether these reflect the characters as they should be in the universe, because Optimus Prime is basically the leader of the robots. He should be on a scale like far exceeding like your normal Scout Bumblebee and all that.
Definitely, but you can take all of them if you want to.
Yeah, but it's not really quite reflected in these cards. The scene is like, this is like the slightly nerfed version of Optimus Prime, whereas Bumblebee is kind of a bit on steroids.
And I assume, I guess this is done to maybe give beginners like a fairly balanced play experience.
Yeah, it's a balanced play.
Yeah, just to ease them into it. But obviously with the booster pack I'm sure you will unlock a much stronger, powerful Optimus Prime.
I think I believe there is actually an alternate version of Optimus Prime, a rare version in the booster packs, which is much more
with much
on par with what he should be.
Yeah, like more reflective of the leader that he is, stats that really reflect that. I mean, really, Prime could pick on all of that himself if he wants to.
Yeah. So the strange thing about Ironhide also, it's supposed to be like, you know, that
Weapon
tough
specialist.
cowboy board,
Yeah.
and you know, we expect that it with a very high defense value and lots of health, but in this case his defense value is kind of like okay, and his health is kind of low, which is very
Surprising.
unusual. Yeah, surprising. So I mean, as G1 fans, we kind of know what these characters should be, but you know, it's not entirely seems reflected into the cards.
And it's interesting that Red Alert actually has the highest damage of all in 4 of this. And in the cartoons, Red Alert is a bit of a whim in a way. He has panic attacks, so there's many times where he couldn't quite perform for the mission properly because he would have traumatic PTSD attack coming and going.
Yeah.
Which is very ironic for essentially an emergency vehicle.
Yeah. So it's a bit strange there, but you know, maybe hopefully soon we can crack open expansion box and we actually see what's really in there, like the other characters. But actually, a lot of the character cards are already available online because this game just released worldwide. So there is a dedicated Transformer card game Facebook page, and there's a photo album of what looks to be most of all the characters, including Jazz. You know.
Oh, Jazz, always fan favorite.
Yeah. So the battle cards actually are kind of like also flavorful. You've got, you know, things like shooting a plasma burst, which by Megatron, which gives damage instantly to characters. You got Starscream trying to aspire leadership. Yeah,
as usual.
That's a funny thing. He gets draw more cards. Got Thundercracker doing rapid descent. You know, flies off a seeker. What is it? Soundwave incoming transmission. Draw 2 cards. So, what do you think about the artwork?
Oh, it's fantastic. You can tell they draw a lot from IDW, which is some of the best, you know, that's where some of the best Transformer art came about, designs, and yeah, you can tell that they take a lot of inspiration from G1, but it's not purely G1, they modernize it so that I guess it's more relevant, and in fact I can tell some of the designs are from the Generations line, not the upcoming Generations line, the previous Generations line. So it's interesting to see that they are honoring that, the whole modern G1 take on it.
Yep. So we like to see, of course, a game like this to progress with more expansions. We just offer more cards, more variety, and so forth. And upcoming, I think next month is an expansion called Metroplex.
Oh,
so it's got a really massive card of Metroplex.
City board.
City board. I'm not sure what the card does, but you know, it could be like quite interesting. Each character is assigned a point value, so you're supposed to play with a team of 25 points. I don't know, Metroplex maybe might be 20 or something. Everyone fights Metroplex like it's a big city ball, wouldn't be fun, right? But yeah, after that, I mean, the generation there is literally hundreds of Transformer characters to inspire from. They're only starting with like I think the original Cardboard, Seeker, Soundwave, and maybe some of the Insecticons.
The early G1 characters that are very list.
Yeah, and I think the combiners are not actually in this set yet either. So that definitely has room for interesting expansions.
Definitely. I mean, Hot Rod, Manasaur, Devastator, my favorite.
Yeah, and I think there's a Matrix of Leadership upgrade somewhere as well.
Yeah, you know, crucial to Transformer lore.
Okay, in summary, what would you say? Like, I mean, for what does this game offer for, say, the Transformer fan as well as for gamers? So you're a Transformer fan.
Well, one thing is definitely like you can tell that they are trying to represent fan favorite characters, and especially in the look that we have familiar with, not the Bayformer alien mechanical thing. I mean, I like some of the designs, but sometimes they kind of went overboard with it, to the point where they don't even have the car parts anymore. To me, an essential part of Transformer has always been that even when they are in robot form, you can recognize that car parts. You know, like Soundwave, he still have that cassette deck that you can see on his chest, you know, Megatron with his scope on the hand / barrel.
So for collectors, perhaps, I mean, if you're collectors of basically, you know, I think these character cards are also quite collectible. If you want, like, you know, whole series of Bumblebee, Optimus, all your favorite Autobots, there is some collectible value in getting some of these.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, great looking card. The foil is well done. It's bigger than usual, so you can see more of the art. And they do come in very dynamic pose. I mean, Optimus Prime with his big gun, you see. And this is obviously an IDW inspired Prime.
Yeah, and also alternate modes behind, so if like you don't like to see the robot, you can just see the car. Or if you're really hardcore transformer, you get two, so you can put them side by side.
Yeah, that's one way to get more money from us.
But this is a trading card game, and of all the way it works, that cards come in randomly packed.
Yes.
You do not know what you're going to get. It's basically you're going to tikam a pack and you hope you get your favorite character. But if not, then go trade with somebody.
Yeah, that's the point of games like this. You know, in Magic community, it's the same thing. Either you trade or you try your luck.
Or you buy.
Or you buy and buy and buy and buy and buy and you get what you want.
Yeah, so the scenario here is that, I mean, this is a very fresh market. I think to jump in now would actually be a very good time when, you know, everybody's on into it and everybody's trying to trade for cards to complete the cards either that they want or to complete the set that they want. Hasbro, of course, has done the convention exclusive cards, and that's come out, I think, at the US conventions, and those are priced at, you know, very highly valued. I think I've seen them like almost $100 US.
Yeah, cool.
Game wise, it's basically, you know, gives a quick fun gameplay that, you know, you can casually do in like 30 minutes without too much complications of setup. Then, you know, it may be a fun casual gaming option that gives you that fan feels of, hey, I am like, you know, using Optimus Prime to go fight Megatron.
And well, transform and roll out.
Live long and prosper.